This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association. Your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Tuesday, September 10th, 2024, and we're so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I will be joined by Jamie Horton of DEKALB, as we will learn about the partnership between DEKALB and the Field of Dreams movie site. Also going to learn about the exciting seed technology that is in the DEKALB bag for 2025. That's coming up on the show, but first, let's get a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soybean Checkoff.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
You're watching Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. Recently had the chance to catch up with Jamie Horton of DEKALB at the Farm Progress Show. She told me all about the partnership between DEKALB and the Field of Dreams movie site, and also the exciting technology that DEKALB has in store for 2025.
Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm here today with Jamie Horton. We are at the DEKALB Asgrow setup here at the Farm Progress Show 2024. And Jamie, could you remind me, please, your role within the organization?
Yep, so Jamie Horton, and I'm the DEKALB brand manager.
And right behind us, we have the Field of Dreams movie. You can see the background, and that, of course, ties into DEKALB Asgrow because of the corn that is used at the site. Could you explain for us, please?
Yes, we're extremely excited today at the Farm Progress Show to be able to announce that DEKALB is the official corn seed of the Field of Dreams movie site here in Iowa. And so it's a very special day for corn growers as well as the baseball.
And everyone, of course, knows about the Field of Dreams movie site because of the movie. But also here in recent years, we've seen Major League Baseball games played there. I mean, it has come back kind of into the zeitgeist again, hasn't it?
Yes, this is actually our third installment of a partnership through the Field of Dreams. And we're really excited about this one because, you know, we can look at that iconic movie site and say that we've got an iconic corn brand there as well.
And whenever you think about the Field of Dreams, that's one of the first things you think about is the actual corn that's planted there. And now you can think of DEKALB Asgrow whenever you see that. Jamie, when we think about next year and kind of what's in the pipeline as we wind down growing season 2024, what are you already looking forward to for 2025?
Yep, so we're certainly excited about our new lineup of products within the DEKALB and Asgrow brands and what those will bring to our growers. We're also excited from a DEKALB perspective to be continuing to branch out and expand our portfolio of products from a Smart Stacks Pro with RNAi technology as well as VT4 Pro with RNAi technology. So really bringing that performance but also that protection within the DEKALB bag.
Thanks to Jamie Horton of DEKALB for joining today's show. You can find the rest of that conversation by clicking on the link right here, as it is time now for our closing market coverage with Ross Baldwin of agmarket.net. At the end of another trading day, we are joined now by Ross Baldwin of agmarket.net. And Ross, at midday today, the soybeans, unfortunately, were kind of the leaders in the basement. How did we close here today?
Beans ended the day near the lows of the day. The low was 9.95 3/4 for them. We settled at 9.97 1/4. Corn was 2 to 3 lower for most of the day, but it held yesterday's low for December corn at 403 1/4. So technically we did have an inside trading day for corn, but definitely a weaker day of trade across the corn and bean markets. And over in the wheat markets, they were 5 to 6 cents higher is where they ended the day.
And going back to corn and beans, do we think that's some of those early returns we're seeing in harvest? Do we think there's some other factors that are maybe putting a little bit of pressure on the marketplace? Or why do you think we did take that downturn?
I think for the bean market, beans continue to be the one that has the ugliest fundamental story. The U.S. carryout, the potential for a large U.S. carryout continues to remain out here. The world carryout is equally as burdensome. So I think beans continue to have that headwind. The bean conditions yesterday, they did surprise the trade. The trade was looking for 63% good to excellent, and they came in at 65% good to excellent, which was unchanged from the week before. I don't put a whole lot of stock into the weekly crop conditions per se, but I think it was surprising for the trade to to see that when you get to this time of the year and crop conditions naturally decline. And so I think, you look at the average trade guess is 53.2 this week, which is unchanged versus last month for the bean yield. But the bean carryout is, the trade guess is 565 million bushels, and that's up from 560 last month. But that is an extremely burdensome soybean carryout. So when you see the crop conditions at 65%, which I believe is 12 to 13% higher versus last year for this time of the year, the potential, I think, is out here just for a big bean yield. I gotta go with the notion it's probably higher than the 53.2, which is the average trade guess. And I think that's the headwind here, as we're sitting with November beans around the $10 level. Beans have had a heck of a rally. They made a low here recently at the end of August around 9.55. We got up to 10.31 here this last Friday before we reversed, and now we're setting a little over 30 cents off of that high. And I think beans probably rallied enough, if not too much. And as we head into harvest, I think that downside just potential's out here, maybe for beans to move back lower and go revisit that low that we made, in the 950 level, 950, 960. So I think that's the thing out here. And corn conditions, they came in at 64% versus 65 the week before. The trade was looking for 64. Nothing big there. Harvest progress was 5% for corn. So I do think you are going to see corn run into some hedging pressure here as we, the days go by, the weeks go by, and corn's going to struggle with that. I mean, it's going to be a big corn crop. I mean, the carryout's not as burdensome as what we originally thought, but the average trade guess this week's a little over 2 billion bushels versus 2.07 on the last report. But at the end of the day, we're going to have no shortage of corn here for the next couple months.
On the other side of the ag marketplace, how did the cattle and hogs trade today?
It was a mixed day of trade across the cattle markets. They had that huge reversal yesterday, live cattle and feeder cattle. And actually where we ended the day, live cattle were 40 to 60 cents lower. Feeders, they were 70 to 75 cents higher. And with where they ended the day, we're about $3 off yesterday's low for fat cattle and about $6 off yesterday's low for feeder cattle after we had that massive reversal in the feeder market. Interestingly enough, we had the big sell-off here, aggressive sell-off last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and cattle have had that nice retracement in the wake of cash trade being lower last week. It was 2 to 3 lower. But today, the highs for both fats and feeders, if you're looking at just say the December contract for fat cattle and the October contract for feeder cattle, they rallied back above their 9-day and 20-day moving averages and settled back below them. I think those are the big lines in the sand to watch here. I mean, if we can't close above those, I gotta think we're going to run into some headwinds and make a move back to these lows that we saw here yesterday, last Friday. But for December fat cattle, the 9-day and the 20-day are in the 177 area, 177 to 77.50. And October feeders, it's the 236 to 236.50 area is where those levels are at. And I think they're going to be crucial to watch. The cash trade market, the Packers have had that on the ropes here. They've got leverage right now, and I don't see that changing here over the next couple months. I mean, there's no shortage of cattle right now on feed. Weights remain big, and so I think the Packers definitely got the leverage. If we can see the board stabilized, maybe we can see cash trade steady. Maybe you could get $1 on it, but I'm just not that optimistic right now. Just kind of given all the fundamentals and the noise from the outside markets. Crude oil is down almost $3 again here today. The equity markets have been struggling. So there's no shortage of outside news that could continue to impact the cattle markets moving forward.
He is Ross Baldwin with agmarket.net, our guest here on Tuesday. Ross, what's the best way for our viewers to get in touch for more marketing information?
You can reach me at our office here in Anthon. Our number is 712-373-3276, or you can visit agmarket.net to find any of the ag market brokers.
Ross, thanks for the time. We always appreciate it, and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Thank you to Ross Baldwin of agmarket.net for our closing market coverage. Let's take a look now at those closing numbers, which can be found anytime under the Markets tab of our website at iowaagnet.com.
December corn closes down 3 1/4 at 404 even. November soybeans down 20 3/4 at 997 1/4. October soybean meal down 7 even at 313.70. October soybean oil down 83 cents at 40.24. Chicago wheat up 5 even at 573.5. Minneapolis wheat up 1.5 at 608 1/4. Kansas City hard red wheat up 6.5 at 582 1/4. December oats up 4 1/4 at 365 3/4. On the Merc, October live cattle down 65 cents at 176.27. September feeder cattle up 90 cents at 238.62. October lean hogs down 25 cents at 78.55. October pork cutout unchanged at 91.55. Class 3 milk is up 15 cents at 23.12.
That does it for our closing market coverage for Tuesday, and that also brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the notification icon as well, as that will let you know whenever we have any new video content available. You can follow us on social media at Facebook, X, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Also, don't forget our free morning, midday, and closing market podcast, along with the Iowa Ag Matters podcast, which you can find wherever you find your favorite podcast at Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. For Riley Smith, Dustin Huffman, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.